Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Rare Book Cafe, the book lovers rendezvous. And if I've counted correctly on all my fingers and toes, I think this is our 28th episode of the Coffee Break Edition. As usual, my co-host, Linn, Ridge Books, Calhoun, Georgia. Hello, Lee.
Hello, Ed.
And our rendezvous guest this week, Lucia Freschini. Lucia is my mentor, my boss, and I hope by the time I leave here in December, she'll still be able to say she's my friend. She's the owner of Pezzounico, a lovely little shop here in Verona, Italy, where she does book restoration, paper restoration, book binding, and a lot of Pezzounicos on the side. Lucia, what does Pezzounico mean?
Pezzounico, my brand is together one word, but actually in Italian is two separate words. Pezzo unico means unique piece. So everything inside here, even the old books, are unique piece.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And we have been regaled with wonderful tales of your shop for the last few weeks from Ed. He's having way too much fun, and we're going to find it very difficult to get him back here, I'm afraid. He is.
And I do want to point out, Lee, that I'm sober this week. I have not had my usual 3 Aperols.
I see that you are. Usually we have him in a cafe with a couple of glasses in front of him and a plate of little goodies to eat, and he's in a really good mood. So, but he's in a good mood this week too. We are so excited to have you.
Thank you.
How long have you been in business, and what did you go straight from, say, from school or university to having your own shop, or did you apprentice with someone?
Pezzounico started 11 years ago, so actually, yes, it was October 2012, so exactly. Right after high school, I went to university here in Verona, and I was very happy with my decision, but after I graduated, I discovered I like more to work with my hands instead of theoretical subjects. So I took a 3-year course of restoration, paintings, wood things, frescoes, books, and then I tried to have all my internships in book and paper restoration. And after that, after the internships, I wanted to work in a shop like mine, but no one wanted to teach me and to give me a work, so I decided to start by my own.
It looks like that was a good decision, and it really does.
It was a hard decision.
Yeah, I think many of us find ourselves not doing whatever it was we had originally trained to do. And I know that's true of me, and I think that's true of Ed as well, that where we are today is not what we would have thought when we finished college and what we would be doing. But what do you like the most about your work? Do you like the restoration? Do you like creating new things? What gives you the most pleasure in what you're doing?
It's a hard question. I can't answer because I like everything. That's why I have a shop like this. I like a lot to restore a book. I like when it turns well. You can open, everything is fixed, but I also like to create a new book. Mainly my job is on restoration, and after weeks of that I've been working on restoration, I have like a necessity to stop and to create something for the shop. So it's something that comes from inside. I need to create something new. So I like both. I like to be creative and I like to be more strict. But bookbinding can be, you can do conservative bindings also for the shop, and you need creativity in the restoration also, because every book, each book comes with a different problem. So sometimes I need a little bit of creativity to think about how to restore it.
Well, I know as a bookseller, I frequently come across books that need restoration, and it's I've been fortunate that I have worked with a restorer who's done some nice work for me, but it's hard to find people with those skills, and so we're all of us on Rare Book Cafe are making stacks of things that we'd like for Ed to practice on, when he gets back. So we'll keep him busy. We'll keep him busy when he comes back, but. Where'd I go? Before we started recording, you were showing us some photo albums. And are people ordering these individually, or are you doing some to keep in stock in the shop? They were beautiful, just beautiful.
Thank you.
Do you have one there?
Yes, a big one. Very
Wow. What kind of pages do they have in them? Do you have it to slide photos in? Or what kind of interior?
I can open.
I'm just curious.
It's like this.
Okay.
Empty, and people use specific tapes for photo to
so that it doesn't damage the photo.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
I know years ago we had those with the sheets you pull off and then they would stick back down, and if you ever wanted to remove a photo, you couldn't. They were there for eternity. I still have some of those, but those are really pretty. Ed has taken us around the city a little bit, and I asked him one day if he had been to see booksellers, because as booksellers, that's usually the first thing we do when we go somewhere. And he said no, he hadn't had time to, and but.
I will say, let me jump in here, Lee. We did go visit a bookseller this morning.
Oh, good. Did you buy anything?
No, it was a sales call. We were trying to get Lucia some more business.
Oh, good. Well, that was certainly a good thing to do. Do you have a lot of competition in Verona? Are there other restorers or bookbinders? Good.
Unfortunately, no. As a bookbinder, book restorer, I'm the only one.
Oh.
Yes. There are few paper restorers, only paper, drawings, old prints, so no books. And then there are industrial boundaries near Verona. Yeah. So they of course they don't do restoration,
right.
But
they do like library bindings, that kind of thing.
Yes. No, not in traditional way. No, with hands, but with machine. Right. They have machine for everything.
Right. Yeah.
Or a private press type of binding.
Yeah. I know I don't know a lot about this, but I know that in the past there have been, particularly in Europe, guilds of various trades. Is there an organizations, and of course we here in the United States have organizations of booksellers, And is there an organization of bookbinders? And is this, no, well, maybe
No,
you and Ed could start one.
no.
Yeah.
We have a national group in WhatsApp, the application on the cell phone, but that's the only thing we have all together.
So you're really on your own. Well, it's a good thing.
Unfortunately, yes.
But it's a good thing you're so talented. That and seeing the things that you have had Ed doing, it's been amazing how from day one, you jumped right in and had him doing things.
I'm working 7 or 8 hours a day. I
Are
haven't
you
worked this
really?
much
How could you
in
possibly
years.
be working 7 hours a day?
Yeah,
And
he's cracking the whip.
wow, she surely is. I was.
But I always say it's not work if you enjoy it.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. I have. I'm going to Boston in a few weeks to a book fair, and it's the first time I've ever shipped my books and then flown. And I shipped my books Tuesday, and one of the 4 boxes is being delivered today, which was unbelievably fast. But the others are due next Wednesday. So, you sit there with your fingers crossed until your boxes are where they're supposed to be. And, and you hope nothing gets lost between here and there. But another bookseller is going to take them for me, so that's good. But I was especially interested in the other things that you had in the shop. When we were saying earlier, I'd like to do Christmas shopping there, the jewelry and the journals and other things that you have made. How I know creatively that's a good outlet for you, from the real rigors of taking a 16th century book and working on it. But is that an important part of your income? Because we hear from booksellers who still have open shops, and there are not a lot of them, that having non-book items is important, to their bottom line. And I wondered if that was true. I don't mean to pry about your financials, but I wondered how important is it to have things that people can just walk in and buy.
It is important. Everything helps.
Right.
Now, yes, my first job is to restore. So
Right.
I mainly work on restoration. But sometimes I often sell what I have created. So half and half. No, half. 1/3 and 3. No.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. About a third.
One of the things I've noticed, Lee, is because her location is close to the Duomo. There's lots of tourists.
Yeah.
So the pre-made items, the jewelry, the journals, she does a lot with the tourists who happen to wander
Right.
past her shop on their way around town, and it kind of fills in the gap. It's a great business plan.
Right. Yeah. And your location is just great for that kind of thing. We do book fairs. I do, and does. Do you ever participate in any kind of, and I know sometimes at the book fairs we have bookbinders or people who do restoration, and mostly they are there to demonstrate what they do, to get business in the future. Do you ever do any kind of group things like that, like a fair or a show? No.
No, there is no bookbinding fair in Italy. There is one famous in Holland, and I think also in France and England. So northern country for us. Bookbinding is not so popular here in Italy. So every time I need to buy tools or materials, I need to order from abroad.
It's a fascinating business. We've had bookbinders on the show before, and we've had book artists who do new books from scratch. Start with photos or printed material or whatever and do it from scratch. And it's just amazing. And I know that Ed says that he would like for you to teach him how to make marble paper. And we have had someone who showed us that procedure one time, and it was just amazing. And it's an important resource for bookbinders. I know, so many of the really beautiful things have marble end papers or whatever. So are you going to, let him learn how to do that at some point?
Let's see if we have time, because it takes
Yeah.
it takes a long time to prepare everything. So when I do marble paper, I do at least for 1 day or 2 or 3 days.
Right.
So last time I made marble papers, it was during COVID. I was forced to stay at home, so my studio was closed, and at that time I lived in a house with a garden, so I didn't know what to do, so I started to make this marble paper, and I have all the grass full of papers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Do you do
Well,
any...
Lee, one more. Yeah, go ahead, Lee. One more.
One more question was, do you do any business online, on the internet? Or is everything in person or by mail or whatever?
When I opened, I first had an e-shop, but it was difficult for me to stay to work physically in a place, and also to
do that
ship.
too.
Yes,
Right.
so sometimes tourists come by and get to know me, and so then they email me and ask me, do you have this sketchbook? Can you do for me? So I prepare, but they contact me directly, so I know what to do. I can send them pictures, photos, and we can decide by emails or cell phone.
Right. Well, thank you so much. And
Well, Lee, Lucia has a cutest little 2-year-old named Zeno, Zeno.
Oh.
Saint Zeno also happens to be the patron saint of Verona.
Oh.
And she's got to get on to go pick him up
Yes, you do.
at
Well,
daycare.
thank you so much for being with us. And
Thank you.
You have explained things so well to us. If we were trying to explain in Italian to someone, we would never be on the show.
Ciao. I can say ciao.
Yeah, I know you can. Your English is wonderful. It really is. I'm very impressed. And so we look forward to having you again as Ed progresses in his skills.
All right, everybody. As part of this show, before the show, I did a little tour of Lucia Freschini's business here, Pezzounico, and it's all been pre-recorded. So stand by to keep an eye on that. Lucia, thanks for joining us. Thanks for letting me come and be your apprentice.
Thank you. You have the opportunity that I didn't have.
And I appreciate it. All right, everybody, that's it for another episode of the Rare Book Cafe, the Coffee Break Edition. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, or wherever great podcasts are given away for free. See you again next week, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, Bella.